Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Peace and blessings to you listeners. We're the children of God that coming to you weekend and week out to preach the gospel of the kingdom. And we're going to get into the fight of faith, okay? Because a lot of people don't know what the fight of faith is. A lot of people don't know what the faith is, right? So, first off, what is a fight? A fight is a struggle between two forces, right? A fight is any kind of struggle between forces, whether it's physical, verbal, spiritual. That's a fight, right? It's just when two forces come against each other, right? So when you talk about two forces coming against each other of faith, right, is a fight for the faith. So then you got faith on one end and an opposing end, and something on the opposing side is going to try to contradict the faith, right? Or your faith. Matter of fact, I was going to start there, but I'm going to get this. Galatians chapter 5 and 16. This I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other, so that you cannot do the things that you would. So then you got the flesh and the spirit that are fighting against each other. That's the fight of faith. Okay, it's going to be the flesh versus the spirit, right? Which the flesh is going to be guided by Satan, and the spirit is going to be guided by Yahweh Bashem Shai. Okay, so it's going to be two forces fighting against each other, right? Kind of like how you got in old cartoons, right? Like Tom and Jerry, for an example, where you got like Jerry about to do something or Tom about to do something, and then you got a red spirit that represents like the devil that'll pop up on the shoulder, and you got like a white spirit that'll pop up on the shoulder that represents like an angel, right? And they'll be telling them contrary things. Right, and that's pretty much what's going on with the fight of faith. Okay, you're going to have two options. It's going to be something that pleases God and something that pleases Satan. And these are contrary things, right? It says, this I say then, walk in the spirit, you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other, so you cannot do the things that you would, right? So a lot of people think, oh, the flesh just means doing things physically. No. The flesh is just anything you do, whether it's physical, spiritual, mental, anything, any action that you do that's contrary to the spirit, right? So anything you do contrary to the spirit is of the flesh. Right? It doesn't have to literally be physical. It says, verse 18, but if you be led of the spirit, you are not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these. So it says, if you're led of the spirit, you're under the law, right? Which is talking about what? The penalty of the law. Right? So if you do things of the spirit, right? Because we know when you walk in the spirit, you're going to be covered by the blood of Yahweh Shai. But when you do the things of the flesh, you're of Satan, right? And you're pleasing Satan, not Yahweh Bashem Shai, right? This is going to works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulation, wrath, strife, sedition, heresies, envyings, murderers, drunkenness, revelings, and such alike, of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in times past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of Yahweh Bashem Shai, right? So a lot of these things are not actual physical things. Like, let's see. wrath. Wrath doesn't have to be a physical thing, right? You can show wrath just by talking. You can show wrath just by emotions, right? Everything doesn't have to be a physical thing. You can have mental wrath, right? Because again, a lot of people see they see the word flesh, and anything it's talking about, it has to be physical things. No, it can be mental things as well. Things that are not tangible that you can touch, right? It says, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. And they that are Hamashiachs have crucified the flesh with the affections and lusts. If we live in a spirit, let us also walk in spirit, right? So if you're about the spirit, you got to walk in the spirit, do the things of the spirit. If you are about the spirit, do the things of the spirit, right? You're about Yahweh Shem Yahushua, then do his things, right? I believe that's Luke 6 something. I think it's Luke the 6th chapter or the 9th chapter, right? Where it says, why call ye me Lord, Lord, if you're not doing the things that I say, right? So if you're really of Yahushua, if you're really of Yahushua, then what? You're going to put away the flesh, or try your best. You're going to fight against it. It's going to be a struggle. You're not just going to give in, right? So back over here, Hebrews 11:6. But without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to Yahweh must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him, right? So, in order to please the Father, you have to what? You have to have faith, right? And what's faith? Faith varies by time, right? I'm going to give you an example of that. Verse 7, it says, by faith Noah warned of God of things not seen as yet, moved with fear, prepared an ark to the saving of his house, by which he condemned the world and became heir of righteousness, which is by faith, right? So what does that tell you? That tells you that back then, this particular faith by Noah was to warn the people, right? Was to get people, warn people, get them to come back to God, right? And prepare to get on this ark, right? And also to build this boat before it was rain, right? This is how Noah proved his faith, right? But like I said, faith, this particular faith is time-based, right? Different times call for different kind of faith, right? Like today, you can't show faith by physically building an ark, right? Because the Lord didn't call for that. So that's not the faith that we use today. We're not called to build a boat, right? So faith varies by time, depending on what's going on. Faith is going to vary, right? So again, we're not going to be able to show faith by building an ark today. So verse 8, by faith Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should after receive for inheritance, obeyed, and he went out, not knowing whether he went. So Abraham showed faith by being in a safe place, right? What he knew and was comfortable with. He showed his faith by going out and venturing off into a place where the Lord didn't exactly tell him where it was, right? He didn't exactly tell him, he didn't give him full details on a destination, right? He told him to go, right? So he was asked to pick up everything that he knew and loved and his whole family and just leave, right? I'm gonna take you to a place. He could have been like, I don't know about this. We're good right now. Why would I pack up my whole family and leave? But he left. Why? Because that's how he showed his faith, right? That's how he showed his faith during that time, at that particular era, right? Now today, you can't show your faith by picking up your family and leaving to a destination. That's how you show faith today.